any time. We'll be coming in live here. Sorry about being a minute late. A button moved. Have you ever had that happen? I had a button move and I couldn't find where it was on Facebook. So it said go live and I was clicking all around it. And so I'm still getting some titles up and things. And I'll say that if you saw the title No Shave Decembeard, you've heard of No Shave November. I got to give credit to my friend Andrew Robinson for No Shave Decembeard, and also several other months that he managed to attach beard to in some way or other. And so we're talking about that for fun a little bit. What do you think about things like that? I've got this going live on YouTube and on Facebook. We'll talk about this as an introductory kind of warm up, and also I have some serious thoughts to share about it, and then we will continue. So right now it looks like I should be live and just fine. What I'm not seeing is the comments like I would like to see. The comment section rather, and so that's because I think all the buttons moved a little bit. For some reason it's not letting me hit go live, so I'm talking, I'm not live yet. There we go. You're going to let me go live now if I put... Yes, it wanted me to put a description. There we go. So I'm live already on YouTube. It took me another second to get live on Facebook. Sorry about the delay. What I already described that you could see over at YouTube was that I was missing a button. There was a button that is usually in a different place on Facebook, and I couldn't figure it out. And what it was is where it said go live, I just had to go down a little bit off the screen. I was clicking all around trying to figure out what to do. And so if I wanted to feel inept at something, I've accomplished that today. But here I am. I'm live. Here the comment section is open. I'm here. I'm on YouTube. We would love to be able to discuss especially important things. What I put on for today as far as our warm-up discussion is this concept of No Shave Decembeard. You've heard of No Shave November. I'll say this again. My friend Andrew Robinson has made a beard thing for every month, and so this came from him, this idea of No Shave Decembeard. But what do you think of it? What do you think of the concept? Is it something you've participated in? Is it something you've supported people participating in? What do you think? Does it matter? We'll talk about that for fun. I have some serious things to say about it, but wanted to open that up for your thoughts. And I'm going to work on splitting my screens here so that I can see if we have comments on either YouTube or Facebook. And I guess it's possible that these two are streaming just a few moments differently from each other, so someone could hear about something on YouTube before they hear about it on Facebook, or vice versa. That little silly thing, but wouldn't it be interesting for someone to comment on something that you've not seen yet, because whatever you're watching on is slower. So you can watch it on both and see. Don't do that. I don't know that watching this on both would be helpful at all, but I'm hoping the sound and everything are working out. It looks good from my end. I'll try to stop shaking the table after I get these moved to where I can see them. My comment sections here. I wonder if I can just pop that out. Every now and then there are little pop-out things. Yes, no. Doesn't look like I can do that. So I will bring it up on one to make sure. There we are. And I can see both comment threads. There. Sorry to get you in on that technical side, but I wanted to give us a little bit of time to think about this idea no shave November, no shave Decembeard, and so on. What do you think of concepts like that? One I just heard this year, and I imagine it's been going on for a little while, is this idea that whatever money you save, not shaving, that you use that and give it to the cancer organization of your choice, and that's one positive thing you can do from that. I felt more like I had to do with cold and hunting season and things like that. I'd not really ever directly participated in it. You might say, well, what about this year? I've never done just a no shave November because my cheeks and my neck beard, I just don't want that to grow out. If I did a no shave November, I could probably donate my neck beard to like Locks of Love or something by the end of the month. I don't want to do that. So instead of distracting everybody and being beside the point, I keep things sort of trimmed up. I've not done it very often. I think this is the second time I've grown out much facial hair for long, and there are reasons for that I'll talk about in a minute. But what do you think about it? Does it matter? When does it matter? And why? This idea of a guy deciding he's not going to shave. And so what do you think? I've got my little cup here, not coffee this late in the day or an additional cup of coffee, but hot chocolate. And since I'm not used to having a mustache, I've got this just in case. We want to keep everything nice. Do you have any tips, guys or ladies, I guess, for keeping a mustache or beard? How is it more comfortable to grow out and things like that? What do you think about it? And give us all a minute as we're thinking about it. And as we think about Bible questions, of course, that's why we're here ultimately, to look at some Bible questions. But I've got an idea regarding that. Even if we don't, like I think hopefully any good preacher, I can use an illustration and get some Bible lesson out of it. So we can talk about no shave Decembeard and a Bible lesson at the same time. So what do you think? That hot chocolate's very good, by the way. I'd never tried it before, but what I did is I just used the water hot chocolate and I put some heavy whipping cream in it. And that made it a lot closer to the real thing. So here we go, Chris, with an answer here. Only matters if it matters to your lady, and she better be quite the lady to make it worth it. Okay. Chris, well said, and I believe I get it like you said it. One way that it would matter is if there is, and that quite a lady, the most influential lady in your life, men, there's a mother, and then there's a wife, and I believe Chris is talking about a wife, or someone who would seriously be considering being in that department in your life. And that's one place that I was going to get with that. But is that the only way that it matters? I just want to dig a little bit more. Is that the only way that it matters? And I get when you're looking biblically, good luck proving that you should or shouldn't have a beard, just period. But could there be an other way or other ways that it could matter if you have a beard or if you don't when we're looking at it? But that's definitely one good point, and one I wanted to primary one in my life that I wanted to look at as we're making that application. But let's look at it this way. What other situations would arise in someone's life where an optional thing about your grooming, like how you keep your hair, would affect your life in a way that you ought to change it? That would be something to consider. What would that be that would cause you to change something that you do or the way that you do it? And boy, I think that Facebook is way ahead of YouTube, by the way. I'm looking at both of my screens and seeing what comes up when. But I'm going to give myself a thumbs up and see how long it takes to get on Facebook and how long it takes to get on YouTube. That'd be interesting. But in YouTube, I just held up the Bible and shook it to give you a time. There's the thumbs up in Facebook. Sorry, maybe this is the only one that's entertaining to me about, but they're pretty far separated. So Facebook is ahead if you're on YouTube and you want to go forward in time. But I appreciate Chris's point. There we go. He just said the other ones I was thinking of, and that's in general jobs and culture. Your culture can be such that you need to consider your grooming and how you present yourself. We don't want to go overboard with that. There's not a biblical distinct line that you could look at. The closest I can think of, if we were going to delve into the topic, it would be 1 Corinthians 11 when we're talking about women and head coverings. And we see different times in Scripture where head coverings meant different things. And if it ever came to the point where we lived in a culture that said a guy who has a beard, a guy who has a mustache, it means this about the way that he lives, and that would be sinful, then that would be one thing we'd say, a Christian ought not do that. And someone might say, well, no, I'm going to do it to make a point. Is that consistent? Is that consistent with our light? Rodney, hey, Mr. Rod, good to see you. I was reading your Facebook name. Good to see you. Did Jesus have a beard? What is interesting is we don't see much described about Jesus and how he looked, except for in the Old Testament. You would think Matthew, Mark, Luke, or John might be a great place for them to have talked about how Jesus looked. But in Isaiah 53, we see probably about the most of that. Whenever he says he has no form or comeliness that we would desire him. And that's not very detailed regarding how he looks, except to say that the way I've put it is he would be somewhat of an average Joe. You didn't look at him and think of, say, Saul, and say, wow, look, he's head and shoulders above the rest. He must be king, right? And I'm looking for one here. Give me 1 second. I'm going to do something because there's something I'm looking for that I want to find regarding your question, because that's a good question. Hey, Miss Barbara, good to see you. And so what Rodney asks is if Jesus had a beard. So we can look at Isaiah 53, and we can see that he was an average-looking person. It wouldn't have stuck out necessarily that way. Then what I'm looking at is because something's tickling in my brain that I felt like I knew where it was, and so I wanted to find it, but I haven't. Hold on 1 second. Sorry to be pausing like that, leaving this quiet, but I really had something in mind, and I'm going to find it. I'm going to look at that some more, Rod, and I'll get back to you, because I think there might be some more hints on that. And if you've got it, go ahead and put it in the comments. But it's not being very forthcoming to me right now. And regarding the morality of it today, Chris mentioned culture, and certainly if something about the culture would say, well, somebody's doing something wrong if they have a beard, it's something Christians should take very seriously before they would challenge that. Regarding jobs, that becomes biblical, especially for guys, because if a man will not work, neither will he eat. Men ought to be providers for our families. 1 Timothy chapter 5 is talking primarily about caring for your widows, which would be your mother. But nonetheless, if you will not be a provider for your family, you're worse than an infidel. And so if you would allow something optional like having a beard or not having a beard to keep you from getting a job, you're just wrong. If you're so attached to that. Now, if you say, I want to have a life, hey Jimmy, good to see you. If you say, I want to have a life where I get to do what I want to do, and some who are watching this, you understand that. I want to be able to work the hours I want to work. I want to be able to do what I want to do, and therefore I'm going to do this kind of work. If you're working that out, that's great, and then you can have a beard. But if you're saying, oh, there's that job, and I can feed myself, and I can feed my family, or I can go hungry, I can make my family starve, but I don't want to get rid of my beard, then that's definitely a problem. So that'd be another one of those times when that would come up. And so it can matter. It's not a matter that we see biblically is required one way or other. It can vary depending on our culture, depending on our situation. And the one I wanted to take some time and focus on is our spouse. What does our spouse think about what it is we're choosing about our looks, and specifically regarding our beard? And a passage that I love regarding marriage and that I come back to for things like this is 1 Peter 3, verse 7. Husbands likewise dwell with your wives with understanding, or dwell with them, with our wives, with understanding, giving honor to the wife as to the weaker vessel, and being heirs together of the grace of life, that your prayers be not hindered. Ephesians chapter 5 says that husbands are supposed to love their wives as Christ loved us and gave himself for us. So you put those two things together, and you have a husband who's going to do anything that he can for his wife, up to and including die for her if it was necessary. And he's supposed to try to dwell with her with understanding. Dwelling with her with understanding would include wanting to know more about her and understand how she thinks and what she likes and what she wants. And she is the most important person on this earth to the spouse. They're heirs together in life. And so as far as says go, unless there's a real good reason, the wife has the final say for if the husband should have a beard or not. And that this is given, everybody being reasonable, everybody striving for the right thing. People can do things the wrong way or want the wrong things for the wrong reasons. And yes, excellent point. That too, Chris. In 1 Corinthians 7, Paul says that your own body is not yours in marriage. She is his and he is hers. And so she has an authority to apply to that. And it is at least unwise for a husband not to take that into account, but it very possibly is sinful. And the reason I'm leaving that in there is because it's easy, perhaps, when we boil it down into a hypothetical where the guy says, I just want a beard, and she says, I really can't stand it and it bothers me. And he says, well, too bad, I'm just going to keep it. You say, well, that guy is wrong. But what if it's flipped? What if he doesn't want a beard and she does, and it would affect his job? Or maybe he can't stand it. Maybe it really bothers him physically. It's just not something he can put up with. So there's a lot of nuance in there, but regarding two people on this earth that you really need to care about if you're married, the man and the woman concerned, they would trump so much. And then taking jobs and society into mind, what that would be. So a beard can be a big deal. It doesn't have to be. But there are situations where it is, and I have the conversation at least once a year with somebody about how often the wife is the one who should be the final say about it. And if you value your marriage, the beard isn't really the problem, it's a symptom. If the husband won't respect the wife and what she thinks about it, if she's causing trouble about it unreasonably, that's not because of the beard or not the beard. It's because of something underlying that. Often not wanting to listen, not being concerned, or worse, or leading to caring more about what other people think. And I would add to that while we're talking about it, if you want to do something, if you're a married man and you want to do something because it impresses somebody else and not your spouse, there's a big problem, especially if that's another woman, something like that. That's a big red flag at the least. It's a sin to pursue that. The woman that you should be wanting to impress and win every day is your wife. Now, if you're not married and that person's not married that you're trying to impress, well, that's part of what you're doing. You want to win someone's affection, but you should never stop that after you get married. And using the beard as an illustration, if you were bearded when she married you and she liked it and you liked it, and then all of a sudden not, why the change? Is it something that you can't do anything about? Is it necessary? Or did you start changing how it is you're pursuing her, and vice versa? You didn't have a beard and now you do. Does she like it? Does she not like it? Why are you wearing it that way? Is it for some type of selfishness, a conceit, attention that you get? If it is, then you've got to repent of that. And that's only going to drive more and more of a wedge in your relationship. Don't go down this trail of, oh, well, if you had a real solid relationship, then you could do whatever you wanted. That's not what a relationship is. There are two people involved in it. You each have authority over each other's bodies. You each have some of the most important input in each other's lives, and regarding most things, second only to God. And that's something that while the beard isn't the issue, we often see it come up as a symptom of it. It's one reason I wanted to bring it up as we were looking at it. I thought many people were thinking about it now, and so I thought that would be interesting. And I want to see if I can find something else here. And okay, here we go. It's because it might have been. Okay. So I'll tell you, the paraphrase of what I'm looking for is hair plucked from the beard, and to see if there's any messianic reference to that in the Old Testament, because I felt like that had been a thing. And so if there's messianic reference and it's hair plucked from the beard, then that would be a little bit of an indication that Jesus might have had a beard. I wouldn't go with the argument that everybody had a beard because they couldn't shave. That's a pretty silly argument. Whenever you look at their implements there, they would have had some shaving implements even sharper than some of the things that we deal with. Whenever you look at obsidian blades, for instance, they could have had those available and they could have shaved with those, maybe, I don't know, but they would have had ways to shave. And so don't say that Jesus had a beard because he didn't shave. And 1 second, I'm going to bring mine. I've forgotten to grab it. Here we go. So some people, even today, shave with something a lot like they might have. Maybe the quality, the way it's made's different, but we all have different ways. I really like this one. If you're thinking about how you might shave or changing up, this is called an artist club, and if you look real closely, the blade is removable, so I don't have to keep this one up. It's a reusable blade, but really I just clean the blade pretty often, and I don't often change it. So it's been pretty nice. I've shaved with that for, I'd say, 10 years pretty easily, would be a good guess. just more an interest point than anything while it was on topic. But really great seeing everybody today. Good to be back home and in the swing of things. A bit of adjustment still. We're shooting right here because I'm moving out of the home office. I sort of got settled in as we were going through some transitions, and I look forward to getting in the groove. Looking forward to some holiday things, and also please suggest or ask what topics or ask what questions would be good to cover in future things this month, and I will see what I can do. I'll put more information if I come across it about the beard. Did Jesus have a beard? Good question, Rod. And you all have a good day. Thank you very much for tuning in, and good getting to talk to you. Bye.